Hey everybody, John here with Miss Adventures in Wrenching. In this episode, we're going to be working on the 1991 GMC S15 Jimmy 4x4, and it needs a belt and a tensioner. And how do I know that? Well, that is how I know that. It does eventually go away, but when I'm driving, it stays. So, we're going to replace the belt, and we're going to replace the tensioner pulley, which is this part right there. At least, I think that's what I got. What concerns me is you can see down here, that's not even touching that. According to my screen here, it says without air conditioning, it's supposed to wrap around that, but the air conditioning is still turning. So I don't know what they did. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I shut everything back off on the vehicle, give it a chance to cool back off. I'm going to go get my belt bar so that I can loosen up tension, and we'll go from there. Okay, in a moment of mechanical disclosure, this is a 16 millimeter socket. It is a short socket. It is on the end of a bar. This is actually designed for belts, and when you do that, it does take the pressure off if you give yourself technically enough room. So I will be able to pull this belt off, and we'll go from there, because this thing looks pretty toasty. Now fortunately, they do, like I showed you earlier, give you a routing diagram for the new belt, and we'll check numbers here in a moment. Well, from the looks of things, this was set up in the non-AC belt configuration, but technically that should have been a shorter belt, and this one is not. So it's looking like, for whatever reason, the last time this was worked on for a belt, and I'm assuming, since this, I don't even know how many miles this has on it. It was a bunch, I thought. Yeah, kind of a bunch, 152,000 miles. So not so bad. But still, what was and what is are not the same. Now, as you can see on this one, empty bolt hole slot, that means this one should come out, and I should be able to slide all this off, put the new one on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so this is a 15 millimeter, so it is a little different. Just going to use my bar like I said, and there it goes. So that should unscrew, and I should be able to pull this whole thing off eventually. Or not. See you in a minute. Well, we're going to be continuing this tomorrow. And the reason is because this idler pulley, which is the second one right down here, and let me see if I can hold it, is not even moving. It is locked up solid. So that may be a reason why the belt wasn't on that. And that is definitely not good. So more going on than I thought. When you pull this off, you will actually see there is a guide hole right here. There's your main threads. When you're on the back of it, it's right there. So this locks into that. Pretty simple stuff, but I've seen people make weirder mistakes. So we are not going to do that because we are going to work on getting caught up with that. Mechanic's note, this one is 15 millimeter, and we are slowly getting it out of there, this time with a ratchet wrench, since not a lot else fits in there. Well, this does not move at all. That is all melted plastic right there. On the other side, you can see the melted plastic right there. So I had it right thinking that I had a bad pulley. I had it wrong because I got the wrong pulley. But since I'm already in there, best to replace them both anyway, since this is probably going to be driven some and a bit of a keeper. So we'll see. So I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, it is the next day and I have a new part. Here's the old part. Now the interesting thing about this is that in doing a little research while I was with my counterpart at O'Reilly's, the commercial manager at that location, who I have known forever, we were looking, and the original part's plastic and all the replacements are metal. It is a little wider, but it is the same diameter and it has the same thread depth. Now I will say, read the instructions that come with it, not in the box, but their notes, because their notes say that the back washer to this, you don't use it on the new one. Those of you that have known me any length of time know that I kind of like to use the original design. They put a lot of money into it, but this is metal, that's plastic, this melted, I'm assuming this won't. So we're going to go put all this kind of together and see if this will even work. Well, I'm backward engineering this, and I think you need this washer no matter what, because this does not fit in either side. It does. It's form fit to this washer that goes to the back side, and that fits the front of the block right here. So I'm thinking it goes like this, and the bolt goes through it, and it all bolts in together. So that's what we're going to try, even though when you look at the screen for this on their screen, it says don't do that. But reality is sometimes different than what you get on the computer screen. Okay, there's more to the story, and it's my mistake. The other bolt that I showed you is for that pulley. Then you got this one, and it's this washer that you don't need. And that makes sense. So we'll get rid of that, and now we'll put all of this together on there down there. I really do like ratchet wrenches. It's slow, but in tighter spaces you can actually get some work done, because this is actually slowly tightening that up. Alright, I'll catch up to you in a minute. Well, not bad. This actually spins freely now, which is something it did not do before. And for the most part, it lines up with this and this down here. Water pump, power steering pump. So all this, so that belt should go on fine. So we'll get this one on next, and then we'll play with the belt. Yesterday we already confirmed that the two belts match, and I did use a Gates belt because I well, I pretty much used Gates everything. Because if it's something you're going to be around in for a while, you might as well use the better stuff instead of the cheaper stuff. So I'm using the better quality. So I'm going to go by this, and we're going to see if I can get this to line up on everything. Alright, so you need and you can do this a couple of ways. I do prefer to use the bar, and you are moving this spring loaded enough to slide this belt in front of it and then up underneath it. And on here you can tell you've got it right because it's loaded. There's an arrow here and there's a double notch right there. And they're both lined up. So we're good to go. Other than me losing my other socket way down there someplace, and it did not hit the ground. Just like that one. Great. That one I can see though. And I have it. Alright. So while losing tools down in your project is common, it's still not a desirable thing. That's loose. So let's go ahead and get this, see if this thing starts up. Well, we're going to go ahead and turn the key, see what's going on. If it screams at me, I did something wrong. If it didn't, if it doesn't scream at me, well, then we're good to go. So, here we go. No screaming. And the pulleys look good. Well, I'm not sure exactly what's next. It's probably going to be work on the doors, since I've got the glass sitting right there, and it would really be nice to get that back in. And even though they're just roll up, it'd be nice to be able to lock this. Actually, that would be kind of a novel concept. Keep my cold snacks where they don't get stolen. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, follow us here and on Facebook. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride, and I will see you on the next adventure. Thanks a lot, and bye now.